Councilmember Dean.
Here.
Councilmember Howe.
Present.
Councilmember Hyman.
Present.
Councilmember Jackson.
Here.
Councilmember Ward.
Here.
Vice Mayor Ripple.
Here.
Mayor Malpajet.
Here.
This evening we have our prayer and pledge by our mayor.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of the community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions, and continue to remind us that all we do here this evening and all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of your name, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Petitions, communications, and public hearings. Doug Cornelius wishes to address council to introduce himself as Circuit Clerk of Harrison County and to give some information about himself.
Thank you. I couldn't be number one, and I'm on the clock. How about it?
How you doing, Doug?
Okay. Well, I just wanted to tell you, I am the circuit clerk now of Harrison County, having been appointed by our three circuit judges due to the untimely death of Albert Morano, who unfortunately left us as a victim of cancer. And I know that process. My wife is a 3-time cancer survivor, and I know what the family went through with him. But I do live in Bridgeport, but I spent a lot of time here in Clarksburg, practicing law for 50 years, and helped the coffers out a little bit with my B&O tax contributions. So anyway, I recently was appointed Circuit Clerk of Harrison County due to the untimely death of Albert Morano, who was elected as a Democrat to a 6-year term in 2022. Pursuant to West Virginia law, there will be a special election held along with a general election on November the 3rd for the remaining unexpired term of 2 years, ending in December of 2028. I will serve to the end of this year, then it depends on the election whether I will serve the additional 2 years or not. The Harrison County Democrat Executive Committee nominated me as their candidate to run for that unexpired 2-year term, and I accepted its nomination. The Harrison County Republican Party Executive Committee nominated Steve Johnson, a retired deputy sheriff, as its candidate, and he's previously run for sheriff, I think at least a couple times without success. My qualifications for this office include the following. 1, I accepted the appointment as circuit clerk by all 3 of our circuit court judges. They brought me out of retirement. I am a graduate of the WU College of Law. I have 50 years of legal courtroom experience, having practiced as a trial lawyer in circuit courts, magistrate courts, family law courts, the West Virginia Supreme Court, and the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond. I'm a former president of the Harrison County Bar Association. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, having served on active duty from 1969 to 1971. Wow, that was a long time ago. One of our sons is an active duty member of the U.S. Navy, who is a submariner whose last duty station was in Bahrain in the Persian Gulf. On February 28th of this year, after the U.S. launched an attack against Iran, our son was airlifted off of his base in Bahrain 10 minutes before his duty station was hit. He's now in Japan, safe, thank God, but the plane was ready to leave, and they were waiting on some people, and the pilot said, "Close the door, we got to go." I'm glad they did. My wife and I recently celebrated 60 years of marriage. We were high school sweethearts, South Charleston, West Virginia. I've volunteered and acted as a poll clerk in several elections. And since May 18, I've been actively serving as circuit clerk, working with 15 women in our office to provide support to our courts in the impartial and nonpartisan administration of justice. And well, we've been working well together. My opponent has publicly agreed with me that the circuit clerk should be a nonpartisan, non-political position, so experience and qualifications are most important. With my 50 years of courtroom experience and other qualifications, I look forward to continue my work as circuit clerk through 2028. this is not a law enforcement position, such as chief of police or sheriff. It's a job that requires a person with many years of courtroom experience and knowledge to work with and support our judges, specifically including the 3 circuit court judges who chose and appointed me to this position, in which I am now serving, and I hope to be able to continue that service through 2028. I'm running short on time. I got a little bit left. One funny story, we moved to Harrison County, Clarksburg was a vibrant and active town, and I hope it becomes that again. I remember one story from the Working Man store that used to be here. Harry Berman and his brother owned that store, and Harry was a funny guy. They were both Jewish, and he told the story that on Christmas Eve, he and his brother would stand by their cash register and sing, "What a Friend We Have in Jesus." So with that, I'll let you go. Thanks so much for letting me talk.
Thank you.
Chad Sigmund, 207 Waverly Way, wishes to address council.
Good evening, council, city manager, and city clerk. First, I want to express my congratulations for your recognition last week from the city. It's well deserved. Also want to thank Will Hyman for his term here on council. And finally, I want to congratulate and thank Jimmy Malfordjo for his 13 years of service as a council member, vice mayor, and our current mayor. So thank you very much for the 13 years of service. This evening, as an individual water board member, I'm speaking to formally state my opposition to the proposed city charter amendments currently under consideration. My opposition is rooted in a fundamental concern regarding municipal law. It is structurally unlawful for the city council to unilaterally amend provisions governing an independent utility board. Legal authority for such modifications properly rests with the Clarksburg Water Board, as dictated by West Virginia State Code. To clarify my position on the substance of the changes, if initiated through the proper lawful legal channels, I am in favor of the proposed office transition date, the implementation of the term limits, and the establishment of the recall referendum process. However, I strongly oppose the specific proposal to automatically seat the second highest unsuccessful vote getter to fill a vacant office. I have serious governance concerns regarding this mechanism. This week, I have requested some meetings with all of you. I know it's last minute, with individual council members to discuss alternative solutions to no avail, but I did talk to everyone on the phone, so thank you for that. It is unfortunate that the Clarksburg Water Board was not given advance notice or the opportunity for discussions regarding these sweeping structural adjustments outside the initial timeline shift from the July 1st to June 1st. Furthermore, it is a disservice to our community that my recent request for an open, collaborative dialogue with the council members was declined. The most critical consequence of rushing these amendments is the impending risk of costly litigation between the city and the water board. Protracted legal battles will inevitably cost upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer funds. This money paid by the citizens of Clarksburg that should be spent on essential public goods such as upgrading our municipal road infrastructure or developing recreation centers for our youth, rather than funding unnecessary legal disputes between local government entities. I strongly urge City Council to table the vote today so that we may engage in constructive, mediated discussion, postponing unilateral action to find a legally sound consensus is in the absolute best interest of our city and its residents. I have reached out to everyone through either phone or text. I know my wording can get misconstrued through text, social media, and I can sound very passionate on the phone, which may come across the wrong way. That is not my intent. I'm a very passionate person, and I apologize to every single one of you if you took any remarks away. It was truly not intended. Today, I have been speaking as an individual water board member, an elected water board member. I truly want to work with the city and move our beloved city in a positive direction. Blessed are the peacemakers. Thank you for your time, consideration, and service.
Jimmy Marino, 700 Milford Street, wishes to address council concerning the water board amendments and the bronze statue.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm here also to speak about the Water Board and the amendments that were proposed. I think all the amendments proposed, term limits, recall, the next highest vote getter, and so forth, are for the people of Clarksburg. And that's who you're here to represent, is the citizens of Clarksburg. The only people that are going to be against this, because these were overwhelmingly supported, if that's the correct term, overwhelmingly supported by the citizens. The only people that will be against these are career politicians who make their living off of taxpayers, and the wealthy who control those career politicians. Those are the only people that will oppose that. Your citizens will overwhelmingly support that. It's kind of funny that Chad Sigmund comes here to talk about, what about when they come before council and ask for money? When they go for bonds, they have to go to this council. They don't need to council on any other thing, but when they're wanting money, they certainly come before this council requesting that. So these same folks came when I was on council, when I was the mayor. They came and wanted raises for the water board members. Now, these raises were imperative that we give them, and we give them immediately. At that time, I didn't quite understand why are these raises want to be pushed so, there was such a firestorm to have these raises implemented. And at that time, verbatim for what Mr. Cox told me, we provide the cleanest, safest drinking water at the best price. Now, you ever hear the Paul Harvey story? 6 months later, the cleanest, safest drinking water went way out the window. And the price, I can assure the citizens of Clarksburg, is going to go even further out the window when these upgrades get finished. I was surprised they come to talk to this council after the debacle they have caused in this city is just unbelievable. You can't get around. It's been a mess for months and months for such a long time. And I was quite, it was interesting when a council member brought up to the mayor that said, you voted against those raises when they were for city council, but now you're supporting those raises. What's the turn of heart? And I couldn't hardly believe in an open meeting, the mayor said, I went through 4 years of hell on this council, and it was personal. Do you make votes up here that are personal? It should be the votes for the best interest of the city of Clarksburg. So apparently you made too many personal votes on there because the people didn't reelect you. So that was kind of surprising. In all these things that come up, you can't do it, the charter and blah, 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 all these are smoke and mirrors. They might say, let's form a charter board. Let's kick the can down the road months and years. Let's get our satellites, see if they want to vote, participate in the vote. Another kick your can down the road. The mistakes it might cost, the cost of doing an election. Let's move forward. These are things that you do are for the citizens of Clarksburg. And you'll see, again, when you vote, to take that vote tonight, the people who are for the citizens will definitely be for these amendments. Those that are career politicians and are in the pocket of wealthy people will vote against that. So hopefully the citizens will take note of that this evening. Move forward one quick thing, the bronze statue that's on the agenda. here again, we've got roads, sidewalks, streets, and so forth. Financially, we're not in that great a shape. And I didn't see a number, but I'd like to see a number associated with this bronze statue. That's probably the last thing we need. Take a poll of the first responders and see what they might want. They might want more money in their pocket. They might want better benefits or better equipment. I'm sure they're not in support of spending taxpayers' money on that.
Let me correct you before you go on, Mr. Moreno.
This is not a debate. Jimmy, it's my time. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time.
Of the taxpayers' dollars.
I reclaim my time, sir.
Any of the taxpayers'
Sir, I
dollars.
reclaim my time. Is this a debate? Are we here?
No, I'm just
You're not going to give me my,
the facts. You
I'm a
need to
citizen
do
and
due diligence,
I
sir.
deserve my 5 minutes. Do I
I'll
not?
give you a couple extra seconds. Go ahead.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I'll debate with you all day, but right now it's my time to speak, I would say, right?
It was
Huh?
all money that was raised.
Okay, but anyway, I'm moving on. Will, you've done a great job. I love working with you for those 2 years. Congratulations, enjoy. I'm sure you'll enjoy your time off.
Thank you.
Tiffany, you're doing a great job on the projects you have in the hopper. Keep those things moving forward. And Jerry, if he's on the phone, he can't use the young card anymore. We have a new young elected member that's younger than you. So Jerry, sorry about that. But thank you for your time.
Ken Stranko wishes to address council concerning the water board charter amendment.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. First, let me join Mr. Sigmund in honoring the service of Councilor Hyman and you, Mr. Mayor. It's a life event. You've done a great job for us. Thank you. And just a quick comment about some of the unfortunate comments preceding me. I don't cast any aspersions on anyone. We're all here to do the best for the people of Clarksburg. And we're dedicated to that. So nobody's in anybody's pocket, that's for sure. And the project, which, my dad now has passed a few years on. Before he died, he dug up the yard, made a mess, and planted an orchard. And those trees are beautiful today. And what we did in this city was remarkable. It was foresighted. Your children, your grandchildren, generations ahead are going to enjoy the inconvenience that we suffered to give them the benefit of a brand new underground infrastructure system, not just the water board, the sanitary board, and the gas company. It is a remarkable achievement. Does it suck? Yes. We knew it when we started. So I just object to anybody casting that in any other light than what it is, the city's foresighted planning. The things I'm about to discuss, I've already discussed with the city attorney, and I'll thank Mr. Marsh for his time in that regard. The water board finds that the legislation that's on first and second reading this evening is unlawful, both by Clarksburg law and, more importantly, by the controlling West Virginia code. First, let me talk about the charter. The charter section 27, which is not proposed for amendment, says clearly, I'm quoting, all powers and duties of the city pertaining to public water utility, including matters of policy, are vested with the water board. So if you wanted to change the governance of the water board, you would have to first change 27. And that's not being proposed. So that is internally inconsistent. More importantly, even if you wanted to change 27, the West Virginia state law says you cannot. West Virginia Code 8-12-3 controls what we're doing here. And it says that an independent and elected water board, once established by charter provision, and I'll quote, unless and until abolished by another charter provision, the board has complete and exclusive jurisdiction on the exercise and discharge of municipal powers and authority and duties independent of the control of the governing body, administrative authority of the city. So it's all or nothing. If you want to get rid of the water board, you can do that. That's the charter amendment that you have to run. But curving around the edges or intervening in how the water board does its business is clearly prohibited by West Virginia Code 8-12-3. The only lawful alternative is abolishment. Now, this is my 4th decade practicing public service law in West Virginia. General counsel to the Municipal League, general counsel to the Morgantown Utility Board. I've worked with cities and utilities all over this state. And what I know is that ego-driven policy is bad policy. And I'm not here to insult anybody. I honor all your service. But if you're making policy based on personalities, people that are in the chair right now, we're all going to be dead and gone. And that policy that you made is still in place. How is it relevant? How does it serve the people of Clarksburg? The only questions you should be asking is, am I obeying the law? And the answer is no if you vote yes on these. And what is the best way we can serve our citizens? What is the best way? If it's abolishing the water board, let's go. Let's have that. That's the only thing we can do, that you can do as a city council under the law. Of course, if you abolish the water board, we're talking about transferring some $8 million or more, growing, of course, in debt. We're talking about losing $36 million in grant funds that the water board has secured for the project we're working on now. We have to go through Public Service Commission proceedings, public hearings, and get the PSC's approval. If this is abolishing the water board, have to get the approval of Bureau of Public Health. It is a big, big project, if that's the way the citizens of Clarksburg want to go. The water board is resolute. These legislations on first and second reading are all unlawful, and we also believe not in the best interest of our ratepayers or the citizens of Clarksburg. We have 3 asks. Don't violate the law. You took an oath for that. The second is, if you want to change, let's do it in a professional way. We've seen no analysis, no benchmarking, no any kind of serious look at how this water board is doing its business, or how other water boards and other municipalities are delivering services. If we want to change, let's go about it in a professional way. And finally, the third ask is to consider deferring action on any of this until the new council is seated. I've already told you the goat rope that we're about to go into if the citizens vote this would be on the next mayor and the next council. So perhaps that would be a kind thing to do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And God bless you for your service.
Thank you.
Gary Keith wishes to address council concerning tonight's agenda.
Man, I'm out of my league here. Everybody had prepared notes and speeches. So I want to start off just by talking about these guys that are leaving our council. Mr. Malfajo, I give you a lot of credit. One of the best guys I know. Good guy. Jerry's on the phone. I think he's probably the most active and even more so than me, involved council member that I've ever seen. And I think Jerry's probably one of the best people that's been on this council in a long time. And Will, absolutely, I'll say about Will, he has more, Will knows who he is, and you will never change his mind on anything. He's probably one of the most honorable people I've ever worked with. So that's my words on you guys. And that kind of brings me to this water board thing, because as we all know, Jerry, man, he scooted by what, 6, 7 votes? Mr. Malfajo is no longer going to be on this council. He wasn't reelected. And Will didn't even run. Yet we have all these amazing things happening in the city, the golf building, the Waldo. Like, this city council is knocking things out of the park. We're doing amazing things that we've only dreamed about. So why are these guys not getting reelected? It's the road. Let's be honest. It's the water board. The water board has caused this city so many problems. We found out lead pipes made our children stupider in the 1970s. The water board could have went ahead and started changing pipes, and I believe it's 1977 if you look it up. They chose not to do that. Instead, they chose to hide the problem. Now let's assume maybe some way they didn't know it was a problem. Okay? Maybe they didn't know until we did, when the EPA came and said, shut it down. They knew nothing about the lead pipes. Well, the only problem with that, folks, is if you've ever dealt with lead at all, it is a completely different feel than any other type of metal, and they work on those damn pipes all the time. They knew we were drinking from lead pipes all that time. They poisoned us. For how many years? I'm not real good at math. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. 1977, figure it out for yourself. So I agree with Mr. Stranko's point. These little changes, administrative changes, screw that. They need to be gone. Abolish the water board. The problem you get into when you have more and more layers of bureaucrats is you never can hold anyone responsible. And maybe that's why it was set up this way. Many things in government are set up that way on purpose. So, no offense, Mr. Malfajo, but someone comes up here mad about the lead pipes and says, what are you going to do about it? Nothing I can do. And then, people get online and complain. And Chad Sigmund, I give him all the credit in the world. He's out there for the people and always willing to talk to people. And he goes out and defends it. And it's like, well, sorry, all these holes are dug, but it's the gas company's fault. Or we can't get in line with the sewer department. We can't get this done. And nobody knows who to blame for all these things. So who do we blame? The city council. I've been a member of this city council, and I know this isn't your fault. I still blame the city council because many city councils over time should have changed the way this is set up. You guys have the opportunity to make this change, and I think you should take that opportunity. I think that's all I have. I still have a minute. Dang, I should talk about something else. Anyway, have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Unfinished business. Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance of the city of Clarksburg, West Virginia, proposing an amendment to the city charter to change the commencement date of the terms of office for the mayor, members of city council, and members of the Clarksburg Water Board from July 1 to June 1 following their election, and providing for a submission of said amendment to the qualified voters of the city for ratification. Notices regarding the public hearing on the next 4 items appeared in the Exponent Telegram on June 9th and June 16th.
Mr. Mayor, to err on the side of caution, I'm going to recuse myself from agenda item A. Reason, I don't feel comfortable on voting on an ordinance that would potentially affect the duration of a term that I was just elected to.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time.
Look, Mr. Mayor, I already said what I had to say, but I just want to make myself available for questions, or anybody have anything they want to clarify based on my comments, happy to do so. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We will now close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Deans?
Yes.
Councilmember Howe?
Nope.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Vice Mayor Ripple?
Yes.
Mayor Mountain?
Yes.
Motion carries. Need to get Wayne back in here.
Wayne,
Mr. Mayor,
he's coming.
hurry up.
Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance of the city of Clarksburg, West Virginia, proposing an amendment to section 25 of the city charter regarding the Clarksburg Water Board to eliminate certain discretionary appointments and establish a succession process based upon the highest vote-getting unsuccessful candidate in the event of a vacancy, establishing an effective date corresponding with the 2028 municipal election cycle, and providing for a submission of said referendum to the qualified voters of the city for ratification.
We will now open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time. We will close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a
Discussion.
second. Discussion.
Mr. Marsh, can you give us some insight into the legal argument against this?
So, Mr. Strango has alleged that West Virginia Code 812.3 bars this. At the end of the day, I used to have a boss that said, when I would tell him how I thought of something, he'd say, well, do you have anything to back that up? Or is it just the law for Richard Marsh? And unfortunately, neither I nor Mr. Strango in this situation have anything other than the law according to Richard Marsh on this, because this statute he's citing has never been interpreted by the Supreme Court. And there's no citing decisions that I can find by any court on the matter.
So there's no case law about
There's
this?
no case law that I can find on what they've done or what they've cited.
How do attorneys usually approach, or how do judges usually approach things that there is no cited case law for?
they're gonna make a decision on it. This statute was passed in 1969, that one is, I'm not saying a circuit court hasn't dealt with it, because that wouldn't be reported, it wouldn't show up in a legal search. So, my position is, we have the authority to do this based on a reasonable interpretation of the statute, because the statute would indicate that the city council can't do a day-to-day operation of the water. We're the sanitary, and of course, we're not doing that. We're seeking to change the charter, which is a whole different ballpark. Now, obviously, the water board disagrees, so that's going to be an issue for two different attorneys to fight out before one of our three circuit judges. So Mr. Cornelius wants the thing get filed. I think
He ran out of here. He knew that was coming.
He was nervous thinking about the work we were going to give him. So
Not we.
okay. So I guess my next question is, do we have any, I know there's no case law, but have there been examples where a city council has done this kind of action?
I'm not aware of it. My understanding is there is, but I don't have anything to put on my finger right now.
Sure.
I think the question you also have to ask, if the city council can't change the charter, then who can?
In City Manager Fell, I agree with you to that extent. I think I have also read the code. Unfortunately, my law practice only extends to American Legion Boys State in 2006. So maybe I'm not the best read. I was prosecuting attorney in the Marion Cabin.
Well, there you go.
So, I mean,
You can make your argument.
okay, there we go. All right, thank you, Mr. Marsh.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I guess since we're on the subject, I guess I'll add my questions. So I guess the issue here is litigation cost, and I guess that would fall on taxpayers through the Clarksburg Water Board. And I understand that's a reasonable argument. But we also got to look at the litigation costs that the Water Board is currently going through right now. They're dealing with a class action lawsuit over lead poisoning kids. From my understanding, there's an issue on Chestnut Street with an exploded house. And there's a whole bunch of, from my understanding, some legal issues that we just don't know about. We're not privy to those conversations. So, I'm curious why the Water Board have the gall to even threaten litigation when they got to deal with all this stuff on top of it. They're going to sue the city over an issue like this when, it's obvious that Chad agrees, and it seems like, I don't know, Chad, I didn't read your last 5 messages you sent me, and I work for a living. It's sometimes difficult to get on my phone, and I understand that, but apparently there was a compromise. Other council members were reached out to for a compromise that said that they would agree with some of the charter changes, but just not that automatic appointment, which I have a serious problem with, because I personally believe there's some intent here. And I personally believe that they already have somebody appointed to the Water Board when Paul Howe goes to Charleston. Because it's probably a given that Mr. Howe will be elected and represent District 70 as a Republican in Charleston. So I'm sure they have somebody appointed. It kind of came to me when it blew up. When it became an issue, all of a sudden it's an issue. Well, you can't appoint this person. You just can't do it. But that's just, I just don't understand the logic of an elected official on the Water Board or City Council there's no experience requirement. So, to say that, we get to pick the most experienced person, anybody, as long as they live in the city of Clarksburg, which we know that you guys don't really like that rule to begin with, that's all you got to do. You got to breathe, and you got to live in the city limits. Literally, that's all you got to do to serve on the Water Board or Clarksburg City Council, for that matter. So, to say that, well, we can't appoint the right person, I believe there's intent there. And, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am. I don't know. I wish I was a fly on that meeting, on the wall in that meeting today. But, again, I couldn't make it. And speaking of Water Board business, the letter that we received at the last meeting that Paul Howe read to council, I'm questioning that because you guys didn't hold a public meeting to draft that letter. And to me, that violates the Open Meetings Act. And, I'm curious if you guys self-reported, maybe down the Ethics Commission or, somebody on this council once told me, maybe we should self-report on that stuff. So, I'm surprised because that letter had opinions and all this. Clearly, there was a idea to circumvent the Open Meetings Act to draft that letter. I have a copy of it on me. I sent it to an attorney of my friend, and I guess, if you want some more litigation, we can go across the street and take care of that at circuit court and take care of that business. But, I don't know if you guys need any more litigation. So, and I guess since we're on the subject, we'll continue the discussion here.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No.
Councilmember Deans?
Yes.
Councilmember Howe?
No.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Worth?
No.
Vice Mayor Riffle?
Yes.
Mayor Malvern?
Yes.
Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance of the city of Clarksburg, West Virginia, proposing an amendment to the city charter to establish term limits for the elected members of the Clarksburg Water Board and providing for the submission of said referendum to the qualified voters of the city for ratification.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time. We'll close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Deans?
Yes.
Councilmember Howe?
No.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Worth?
No.
Vice Mayor Riffle?
Yes.
Mayor Malvern?
Yes.
Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance of the city of Clarksburg, West Virginia, proposing an amendment to section 45 of the city charter to add a voter-driven recall election process for members of the Clarksburg Water Board to the process already available for Clarksburg City Council members in accordance with West Virginia Code Section 812.4, resolving stylistic issues to the section with and providing for a submission of said referendum to the qualified voters of the city for ratification.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time.
Again, from when I spoke earlier, I was for all proposals except B, and I don't know if that was read today that I was formally, I sent a letter.
I would have mentioned that.
Okay, good. I was just wondering. Again, I'm for this. I am for as a newly elected water board member for term limits and this one as well, but I just wanted to talk about my only opposition. Thank you.
I also have some letters to read from my constituents, if I may.
Absolutely.
I have a letter here. I'm sorry?
I don't think there was a motion in the second.
It's a public hearing.
Oh, you better go
Oh,
down.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I could read it from the.
That's public hearing.
I guess I'll get used to this.
Just thought I'd help you out.
I have a letter here from a resident of my community in Northview, Ms. Shannon Leary, 1600 North 18th Street, Clarksburg, West Virginia. The Clarksburg Water Board should be held accountable for the impact this water issue has had on our community. When the water pressure problems occurred, my home's pipes burst multiple times while I was at work and came home to a flooded house twice. I had to pay out of my own pocket to repair the damage, and my water bill has still increased. Many residents are also deeply concerned about the reports of lead water in the system. Clean, safe drinking water is a basic necessity, and everyone deserves transparency, accountability, and real solutions. Our community deserves answers. Our families deserve better. Accountability matters, and I believe those responsible should be held accountable for the harm residents have experienced. I also have another letter, bear with me. It's a little longer. It's from a Miss Tamara Rutter. I do have her address, but it's not on this email here. The subject is agenda items A through D, proposed charter amendments relating to Clarksburg Water Board. Dear Mayor and members of Clarksburg City Council, before the ordinances are considered, I want to express my support for placing these charter amendments referred to as the Water Board Accountability Act before the voters of Clarksburg. Many residents, including myself, feel abandoned and left behind by the very board entrusted with managing one of our most essential public services. The condition in which some neighborhoods has been left is unacceptable, and not to mention, the lack of accountability has eroded public trust. One thing I want to make clear is that accountability is not a punishment. It is a basic expectation of those in public service. Those entrusted with managing public resources and overseeing major infrastructure projects should be held to clear standards and remain answerable to the people they represent. No elected body should ever operate without meaningful checks from citizens who, serving a reminder, ultimately bears the consequences of its decisions. These proposed amendments, also referred to as the Water Board Accountability Act, provide the accountability that I mentioned earlier. Term limits encourage new perspectives. A clear succession process reduces political maneuvering. A recall process ensures that voters have a remedy when confidence in their representatives has been lost. Most importantly, these measures do not impose these changes outright. They allow the citizens of Clarksburg to decide for themselves. Residents have paid the price for poor planning, poor communication, and poor execution. Our homes have been affected. Our neighborhoods have been affected. Our mental and physical well-being have been affected. We cannot continue asking citizens to accept these consequences without ensuring that those responsible are held to the same standards expected of everyone else in public office. I also want to address those who may oppose these reforms. If members of the Water Board view measures as term limits, recall process, and greater accountability as threats rather than responsibilities, I believe that says a great deal about how they view public service. Public office is not an entitlement. It is not a lifetime appointment. It is about serving the community and accepting accountability when residents raise legitimate concerns. Those who truly see themselves as servants of the public should welcome transparency and should not fear giving citizens a greater voice. I urge council to advance these ordinances and allow the people of Clarksburg to decide how they want the Clarksburg Water Board to be governed. Public trust is earned, through transparency, responsiveness, and accountability. The Clarksburg community deserves nothing less, and I will leave with this note. The residents of Clarksburg are done being patient. The people have lived with your decisions. It is time for you to live with theirs. Thank you. I'll get her address for you, Jim. I got it.
We will now close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Discussion.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Riffle.
I just got a quick point. The first reading of this, every council member besides Councilman Worth spoke on it. So I don't know if we're cutting him off or not getting opportunity, but who's been voting no? Does he have any discussion on that, or is he just voting no?
Who are you speaking about, Mr. Riffle?
Councilman Worth is the only one that hasn't spoke in the first meeting, the second meeting. I didn't know, we're just getting cut off, or why is he not speaking?
I believe I voted yes on the referendum recall.
Okay, well, everything else you voted no. So do you have any discussion on why you voted no, or you just gonna?
I think this for a point of order, I think that the discussion should be on the agenda item D.
I agree, Councilman Riffle.
I have some discussion. I got some points that I didn't bring up earlier, and
So is that a no, nothing to say?
sorry.
Is that what we're getting at?
I think what we're saying is we're on item D, we're not going backwards.
Right.
Yeah, I know where items are wrong.
I can't speak to the other items because this is
You can
this.
speak to this item.
Well, I can speak to this item. I mean, the item that, this item, the referendum recall, yes, I do support.
You can put on the other one then.
Yeah.
Trying to keep transparency, it's all I'm trying to get.
Thank you, Councilman Riffle. I'm our Vice Mayor.
I have, this goes back to the whole the duly elected issue that we had come up during the 2023 issue with the charter amendments that were written, and I find it funny the way that the water board's attorneys, who I believe Mr. Amon's here as well, came after Clarksburg City Council about having members of the Clarksburg City Council that were not duly elected. At the same time, they had a member who was not duly elected themselves serving on the Clarksburg Water Board, who ultimately resigned Did that affect the water bonds that council passed? I'm curious if that was an issue. Looking back at it, because, ultimately that member resigned.
I represented city council.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, ultimately it was their bonds that we had to sign though, right? I mean, it was, that's this kind of strange relationship that we have.
I advanced those charter amendments to clean that up so that.
I recall that, yeah.
It wouldn't be a problem for council.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, okay, I was just curious.
And the water board had nothing to do with that, correct?
The water board had nothing.
Okay, we gotta move on here. We can't be bantering back and forth.
Hey, this is open to the crowd.
My apologies.
Still have one that doesn't live in the city.
Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good, thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I will note for the record that I did receive 4 written objections, 1 to each one of these, and then 2 to the one that Mr.
Okay, you'll make that a matter of record.
I'll make this
Thank
part of the
you.
record.
Thank you.
E, to conduct a public hearing prior to consideration of enactment on second reading of an ordinance of the city approving an amendment to the boundaries of a tax increment financing district known as City of Clarksburg Redevelopment District Number 1, TIF District Number 1, an amendment to the project plan associated with TIF District Number 1, and other matters in connection therewith. The next 3 items, notice with regard to the public hearing, appeared in the Exponent Telegram on June 5th and June 12th.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time. We'll close the public hearing.
To conduct a public hearing prior to consideration of enactment on second reading of an ordinance of the city approving the creation and establishment of a new tax increment financing district in the city to be known and designated as City of Clarksburg Redevelopment District Number 2, Waldo Hotel, TIF District Number 2, a project plan for TIF District Number 2 to be known and designated as Project Plan Number 1, the establishment of a TIF fund for TIF District Number 2, the execution and delivery of an escrow and disbursement agreement providing for the transfer of monies on deposit in the TIF fund for TIF District Number 1 to a city escrow fund for the Waldo redevelopment project, and the utilization of such funds in accordance with the disbursement agreement and other matters in connection therewith.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time. Close the public hearing.
To conduct a public hearing prior to consideration of enactment on second reading of an ordinance of the city approving the creation and establishment of a new tax increment financing in the city to be known and designated as City of Clarksburg Redevelopment District Number 3, Golf Building, TIF District Number 3, a project plan for TIF District Number 3 to be known and designated as Project Plan 1, the establishment of a TIF fund for TIF District Number 3, the executed and delivery of an escrow and disbursement agreement providing for the transfer of monies on deposit in the TIF fund for TIF District Number 1 to a city escrow fund for the golf building redevelopment project, and the utilization of such funds in accordance with the disbursement agreement and other matters in connection therewith.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time. We'll close the public hearing.
To consider for final enactment on second reading following a public hearing of an ordinance of the city which would authorize and approve an amendment to the boundaries of a tax increment financing district known as City of Clarksburg Redevelopment District Number 1, TIF District Number 1, an amendment to the project plan associated with TIF District Number 1, and other matters in connection therewith.
So moved.
Second.
We have a
Discussion. So,
And we have a discussion.
thanks, Mayor. So, under this item, we've included, I believe, the Linden grade school, the Linden grade school, correct?
Yes, it was part of the adjustment to the TIF district.
So, did we ever decide who owns that building as of right now?
Right now, it is,
I can't remember the name of it, but it's not the LRA.
yes, it's the.
North Central Builders?
That sounds right.
Yes.
All right. So any incremental increases they provided within that property will go towards this TIF? And then would on TIF District 1, then we would have eligible funds, I guess, for that group that came in as well and asked for opioid funds then, correct?
Change initiative?
Yeah.
Council can discuss that in the future, yes, we're supposed
But
to.
confirming that
Yes.
the fund TIF use.
Yeah.
Thank
Anything else, Mr. Howe?
Not right now.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
To consider for final enactment on second reading following a public hearing of an ordinance of the city which would authorize and approve the creation and establishment of a new tax increment financing district in the city to be known and designated as City of Clarksburg Redevelopment District Number 2, Waldo Hotel, TIF District Number 2. A project plan for TIF District Number 2 to be known and designated as Project Plan Number 1. The establishment of a TIF fund for TIF District Number 2, the execution and delivery of an escrow and disbursement agreement providing for the transfer of monies on deposit in the TIF fund for TIF District Number 1 to an escrow fund for the Waldo redevelopment project, and the utilization of such funds in accordance with disbursement agreement and other matters in connection therewith.
So move.
So,
We have a motion and a second.
Discussion. There's a, no, we're in it. Discussion.
Okay.
Well, I hate to bring this up, but I heard a lot of comments on previous items, and it dawned on me. I think the word transparency has been brought up. I think Councilman Hyman, you brought up ethics, self-reporting. I believe public trust was brought up by, I think, one of your constituents that you read it from.
one of yours as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So I guess that leads me to ask, is there any outstanding issues with the Ethics Commission regarding this project and anybody involved in the project? And have we heard all the results back? And has anything been discharged regarding such?
We haven't heard anything.
So it's still not determined?
That's correct.
Okay. So we have an outstanding ethics issue pertaining to this item. So is the disbursement, Tom, is the disbursement agreement part of this ordinance itself?
Yeah, so there are separate disbursement agreements for each project, and this ordinance would approve the disbursement agreement for the Waldo project.
Okay. So I have several questions.
Yeah.
I believe the way I read it, and I have to find it. Regarding the tranche of money, well, let's see here. So under the disbursement agreement, the availability of funds. So the previous disbursement agreement, I'll go back in time a little bit, to February of 26, when this came before council. February of 26, the disbursement agreement at that point in time, still same total amount of $2 million. The progress breakdown of payment was progress payment number 1, 15%, when they had to do certain items, which was $300,000. Then on to number 2, 20%, $400,000. Number 3, 20%, same cost. Number 4, 15%. Number 5, 20%. And then finally down to number 6, I believe it was at 10 or 15% of $200,000. So I guess my question leads me to ask, and maybe it's not a question directly to you, maybe it's to staff, but my understanding was, and I get we're under a time crunch, and I believe I even sent an email to staff stating we prefer to get this done before July 1. And with a new council coming on board, it'd be easier, I believe, because everybody here understood where we were with the TIFs and the intricacies of the TIF. But I guess my concern is, I believe I explicitly was very clear of my opinion, we should be paying $0 up front towards any developer based upon the Waldo and the golf building. So I just want to be clear that I'm reading this correctly. We went from 15% up front, $300,000. Now it has grossly increased. Prior to anything, we're going to hand them $1 million check.
That's correct.
So I have to say, that's going to be a very difficult pill to swallow. What protection is there to the public with their public money to be transparent to the public that the $1 million will stay in the city? Or is there a way we can recoup it? Because I believe under the ordinance of such, it states where it's provided as a grant to legacy communities to be used for capital costs related to construction. So if it's a grant, what is the mechanism to recoup it?
There wouldn't be any recoupment.
So we're taking $1 million, providing it to an individual on the trust basis that something is going to be done, versus if we make them do the project, going back to the old disbursement agreement, at least then we can at least measure based upon how it's being provided. And it clearly states the initial construction activities, demolition, prep work, electrical rough-in. Well, we'll give him $300,000. He completed it. We're safeguarding our funds. Now, we're giving $1 million, and God bless him. I hope he does it, because if he doesn't, he's walking out the door for $1 million. He doesn't get to collect the other $1 million.
Well, so.
Or does he?
So it would be put in a city escrow, and it would be subject to a requisitioning process where they would have to request the funds, and the city would have to approve those disbursements from the fund for the first $1 million.
Who approves it?
I think it's the city manager. Let's see here. So it's not specified. So I think the city could determine the process that you all want to use for that. If you want to have council approve those, if you want to delegate that authority to certain individuals, I think it's up to council to determine that process.
So is there any, again, so in theory, as an example, developer comes in, does $1 million worth of work on the building, requisitions the city for $1 million, gets paid the $1 million, and he stops on the project. But how do we say we want our $1 million back?
There wouldn't be any basis for that.
Okay. So the building sits in just a tad bit of a better condition for $1 million.
So there is a description of what that would be used for, and that's initial costs to replace the roof of the Waldo structure, clean out, stabilization, environmental remediation, and other costs that may be necessary to stabilize the structural integrity of the building. So I think the idea is the LRA, at least as I understand it, the LRA would continue to own the building during this period of time, that those funds would be requisitioned for those categories of cost, then dispersed from the escrow fund to pay those costs, with the idea that it still remains at that time a city asset, and up to $1 million, that the city as a policy matter is deciding that the city's willing to invest up to $1 million to stabilize that building as a city asset that would be available in the future in a stabilized fashion, so that if the developer did decide to walk away at that point, at least it preserves the ability to redevelop the building down the road.
Question real quick. I'm sorry, Councilman Howe.
Good.
And this might be a question for staff, refresh my memory. The AP Development has an agreement with the current owner of the building, correct?
The LRA currently is involved.
Yeah.
But wasn't there a revision though
Yes, there's a revisionary clause.
if the developer walked away?
If an sufficient process is done on the building, there's a reversionary clause. Yes.
So we could spend $1 million, they walk away from the project, and then it goes back to the current owner?
That's possible. I'm not concerned about that. because we have claims against the current owner, or against the reversionary owner for other monies as owed.
Equal to $1 million? I don't know how that works.
Well, I'll follow up on the Calvin thing, because that's actually the question I was leading into.
Sorry.
But thank you. It's a good segue, because I think if the project fails and the reversionary agreement goes back to the owner, I believe that agreement allowed him to walk away from a debt owed to the city of excess of $300,000.
That was likely time barred.
For how long?
The previous plaintiff excused.
Time barred meaning?
Meaning that we didn't believe it was ever collectible from that entity.
The debt was so old.
It was.
So in essence, he gave us the property, we relieved of the $300,000 debt, free and clear. So when you say that there's debt owed, it's gone.
There's other debt owed.
How much?
I don't have it in front of me, but it's.
I think that's gonna be pertinent for us, because we have an individual that is gonna reap a very large, it's a liability, but there's gonna be $1 million plus potentially put in that they're gonna reap the benefit for.
Comment. Not to be a personal attack, but Mr. Howe, you ran the city for 15 years and that building stood over there. You didn't raise the capital to tear it down. You didn't raise the capital to build it up. And now we have an individual who's willing to come into our city and do something with that building. You know, nothing risked, nothing gained.
I agree.
At some point, we have to step out on the edge. This gentleman has a business, and this is what he does. And basically, right now, all I'm hearing is an attempt to try to squash this. You know, I understand that there's big money out there, but you know what I haven't heard is that this individual is getting ready to invest $50 million into this project.
Because this agreement doesn't say 50 million, it says 20.
Okay, 20 million.
Okay.
But you know what? We'll get that building back up and the golf building back up. You know what? At some point, you know what? We have to stop thinking that everybody's out to try to steal our money
and I'm not,
that individuals are going to work with us and try to build our city back
here
up.
for how long, telling the water board how horrible everything is, wasting money doing this and that. I'm trying to protect $1 million of the city money, only $2 million, because if they don't complete it, we're giving away taxpayer money, gone.
And if they do complete it?
If they do. So what I'm saying is put our $1 million, put our $2 million in. We're going to put it in, but do it the right way. Make sure that they get through the project to where they don't turn around.
Okay, so we put we're putting $2 million investment. We put $1 million in up front, and then it's broken down as we go along. I mean,
that's the original contract, yes.
Okay.
But it drastically changed.
It's time to do business in Clarksburg.
That's right.
You know, it's time to stop, dragging our feet like it's been done over the years.
That's right.
It's time to make some things happen. We have to get some things done around this city.
1,000% agree with you. But I think what we need to do is protect the taxpayers' money and do it properly. Don't just give them.
I don't think this is protecting the taxpayers' money. This is playing games now.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen, folks.
It's time of taxpayers' money.
Basically, it's time to get this done.
Okay? I can guarantee
it's time to get this done.
Enough.
Mr. Raymond, you did say that there was discretionary, that would be up to council or somebody from city staff to, after the initial $1 million.
You guys need to determine a process as to how you want to approve the disbursements from the escrow fund.
Thank you.
And we need to do that tonight?
No.
Okay.
That's in your all's discretion.
So, Councilman Howe, do you have more questions?
Go ahead. I'll take a break and I'll probably come back.
Okay. So, as I stated earlier, I have very limited experience as an attorney. I have even less experience as a businessman. So, when we're talking about these reimbursements, is this kind of two lump sum disbursements of funds, is that common, or is it more more likely that you would see the several tier system that we discussed in February.
So, I mean, in situations like this, I think the city's grant money would come in last. You would have the developer expend their funds and then either do it on a reimbursement basis or the city's money would be put in last.
So essentially what you're saying, Mr. Amen, is that we're giving them $1 million up front, okay? $1 million up front in the escrow account. And they're pledging, this is just pledging, to replace the roof and do some environmental cost, whatever, to preserve the structure. And we're paying for that through this $1 million up front. And what you're telling us is that typically the money from the city comes last after they've made an investment to improve a structure.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yes.
Well, that definitely changes the game. So, wow.
But that's not what's happening in this agreement, or that is what's happening in this agreement?
That's not what's happening.
Then what is happening then in this agreement? Because I'm confused. I'm hearing that we're putting $1 million up front for phase one of this project.
Tom, if I may, the agreements are set up. We had multiple meetings with myself, Attorney Marsh, Attorney Amen, and the principal of AP Development. This was created and everybody had a level of comfort bringing this forward. Is that accurate, Mr. Amen?
It's not how I would structure it, but I'm comfortable. I think the city is adequately protected.
Adequately protected. So here's the blanket truth about the Waldo. You have someone who is probably one of 3 companies across America who will come and take on a building like this. The LRA owns it and it's caving in. If we don't step up and support this project from the beginning, we're going to be responsible to tear that building down to the tune of $4 to $5 million. So council has to weigh what's more important. Actually being grateful that someone wants to come in and take on the Waldo and have a partnership with the city. There's tiles falling off the roof right now. We are getting calls every week from the federal parking, the people who own the federal parking lot saying, what are you guys going to do about this? That is our liability to take care of. We've known about this building for 2 decades. We can't get out of it. We know it's an issue. This developer has already put $500,000 into this city. He bought a building and he's cleaned out part of the Waldo already. He's already shown us that he's willing to come in and redevelop Clarksburg. If he was asking for this money with no money invested, that would be a different situation. He's $500,000 deep. Council has to decide, is it willing to take a risk for 80 apartments in the Waldo and 60 in the Gulf and maybe see some positive change in the city?
I mean, I see.
It's really that simple.
I see your point at that. I just wanted a question for clarification, because essentially, let's just say we put $1 million up front. This, AP developers fixes the roof, and then they pull out. Then we just paid $1 million of taxpayer funds to secure a roof. Now, will that make the structure better?
Yes.
Of course it would. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little on the fence on that still.
Let me ask you a question.
But again, you're
Let
going
me
to get
ask you a
something
question,
better.
Mayor. Let's say we don't do anything and one of those bricks or one of those tiles fall off of that building over there that's crumbling in and it kills somebody on our street. Then are we going to be haggling about $1 million, or are we going to be dealing with somebody's family over multiple millions of dollars and somebody whose life can't be regained?
Well, I support what you're saying, Mark, and I'm not saying I'm going to vote for or against it. I'm
But
just saying I have
then
some
we need to
concerns.
poo-poo or get off the pot, boys.
Well,
it's time to get to work.
Well, I just wanted clarification. I got my clarification.
This is a safety hazard in our city, and basically, you guys are haggling over $1 million. I'm not saying that like I got $1 million in my pocket.
Clarification for not $1 million, $2 million. Okay, it's the taxpayers' money. I'm sorry if I want to help taxpayers to make sure the money's being properly.
And I'm sorry if I want to see our city grow.
I didn't say I didn't, Mark. That's your opinion.
Okay, we need to move on, gentlemen. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
All opposed?
Nay.
Councilmember Deans?
Yes.
Councilmember Howe?
And to Jerry's point, I want to make it clear, I'm for the project. I am not for the disbursement agreement on the way the funds are being dispersed.
Is that a no?
That's a no.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Worth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ripple?
Yes.
Mayor Muffin?
Yes.
To consider for final enactment on second reading following a public hearing of an ordinance of the city which would authorize and approve the creation and establishment of a new tax increment financing district in the city to be known and designated as City of Clarksburg Redevelopment District Number 3, Golf Building, TIF District Number 3, a project plan for TIF District Number 3 to be known and designated as Project Plan, the establishment of the TIF fund for TIF District Number 3, the execution and delivery of an escrow disbursement agreement providing for the transfer of monies on deposit in the TIF fund for TIF District Number 1 to the city escrow fund for the golf building redevelopment project and the utilization of such funds in accordance with the disbursement agreement and other matters in connection thereof.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
New business. Consideration of first
Thank
reading.
you, Mr. Raymond.
Thanks, John.
Consideration of first reading of an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, proposing an amendment to the city charter to change water board to an appointed board and not elected, providing for certain changes to the operation of the water board and its meetings, and providing for the submission of said referendum to the qualified voters of the city for ratification.
Madam Clerk, I move we consider an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, proposing an amendment to the city charter to change water board to an appointed board not elected, providing for certain changes to the operation of the water board and its meetings, and providing for the submission of said referendum to the qualified voters of the city for ratification.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Mayor, in light that this will not be completed under the current council and will have to be spread out until after July 1st, I make a motion to table new business item A.
We have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
No.
Councilman, this is a motion to table. Councilmember Deans?
Yes.
Councilmember Howe?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
No.
Councilmember Jackson?
No.
Councilmember Worth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ripple?
No.
Mayor Muffin?
No.
Discussion.
Discussion on the original item. Oh, you
Go
want-
ahead.
Go ahead, Neil.
I'm going to offer an amendment. And so, Madam Clerk, I move to amend section 25 of the pending ordinance, specifically under the second paragraph, immediately following the sentence that reads, "The appointed members must be qualified voters and residents of the city." I move to insert the following language. At least one of the members appointed by Clarksburg City Council must be a registered professional engineer with a minimum of 5 years of practical experience in civil, environmental, or sanitary engineering.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now to the original. Consideration of first reading of the ordinance.
Discussion on that. Can someone please explain to me what the certain changes to the operation of the water board is?
Let me get to the. It is.
I think Will wrote it.
Yep. In summary, basically, the members of the water board would be appointed by Clarksburg City Council, similar to the Clarksburg Sanitary Board. There's also some other language in here that would basically force the Clarksburg Water Board to hold meetings at Clarksburg City Hall at a meeting's time set from 5 to 7 p.m., not on the days of Clarksburg City Council. There's a couple more. Give me a second.
The other change, the city manager will act.
Oh, yes, yes. The city manager of Clarksburg will also act as the president of the Clarksburg Water Board. I believe that's generally the gist of it.
So I'm kind of confused here on this. So we're discussing something, or we're proposing something that would totally eliminate the voters from voting for the Clarksburg Water Board members?
Not quite, because the voters would actually act on referendum to do so. So it'll be up to the Clarksburg voters, because I'm sure there's members of the audience or the gallery rather that will oppose it, formally oppose it, and that's that's the democratic process. I understand that. So it will go to referendum by vote on the general election date in November, or anytime I guess council, if they don't agree to that, can be moved to the May primary or hold a special election.
So my question is, then what is the intent of this then? Because from what I'm hearing from the last things that were, I guess, charter amendments put on the ballot that were passed, this is kind of contradicts it in a way. I'm just trying to
not
see
so
what
much.
the
I mean,
intent is on this.
I believe that more people put faith in Clarksburg City Council than they do the Clarksburg Water Board. I think that would be the case. That would be the argument there. And I believe that if we appoint members of the Clarksburg Water Board to serve on the Clarksburg Water Board, then it would be a lot more, I guess, you would see the decisions made and the appointments made to be a lot more serious. And at the same time, the amendment that I just made would actually add some experience to the Clarksburg Water Board, much like our Clarksburg Sanitary Board. So again, this is only sending it to the voters because I'm positive that it would be, people don't like it. I get it. It happens. But, it'll go to the voters and people will vote on it. Unless at the next July meeting, you guys decide to vote it down.
So to clarify, did you just say the voters aren't smart?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I can take a look around at who's serving our state, who could be serving the county, who could be serving in our federal government, and I don't know.
So you don't have to trust them to make that decision.
The
Democratic way.
Yeah. Well, yes. I like to call it a constitutional republic, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to get into the civic debate here, but ultimately it'll be sent to the voters. If the voters don't want to do it, they can vote it down, just like all the other charter amendments, and just like the charter amendments in 2021 and the forced charter amendment in 2023.
I just have one more question about this, and Councilman Hyde, maybe you could answer it.
Maybe.
So when you say that the general manager of the water board will be the city manager according to this proposal, am I correct on that?
The president of the president of the water board.
Of the water board.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the president of the water board will
be the city manager.
Okay. And is that, what duties would that entail?
Well, it's much like the Clarksburg Sanitary Board, where they meet monthly, and they meet here, and Ms. Fell serves as the president. We also have 2 appointed members that are appointed by Clarksburg City Council, and they take up the duties of the Clarksburg Water Board, just like the Clarksburg Sanitary Board.
Okay. All right. That was just one of my clarifying questions. I didn't know whether it's like,
yeah, I mean,
city manager's going to run the water board, or
no, I believe that.
I'm just confused. I'm not going to support this.
Councilmember Worth, sorry to interrupt. Just like Drew Eddy is the director of sanitary, there would be a director of the water, like an employee.
We have a motion.
I have some more points here. And this goes back to Mr. Strike's argument about the charter. And I guess I just got to ask, and I've asked a few people, and I guess this kind of stems off into a little bit of different things here, but where are the provisions for the Clarksburg Water Board? Where do they reside? Well, I mean, no, I'm just, this is a general question. Maybe it's rhetorical, I guess. And I'll answer.
The provisions are in the West Virginia State Code and the city charter.
Yes, and they exist in the city charter. And what?
And the West Virginia State Code.
Well, we'll get to that here in a minute, Mr. Stranko. Who has the ability under home rule provisions in the city charter? Who has the ability to change the Clarksburg City Charter? Is it the water board?
I've already discussed this.
Yeah, I know.
I'll answer again, Counselor, if you would listen.
Okay.
The West Virginia Code that I've cited says this council can only disband the water board. It does not have the ability to amend the charter in any other fashion. It's the plain reading of the law. The fact that the city attorney believes the court hasn't passed on that is ridiculous.
Okay.
The legislature makes the laws in this state, not the courts.
So when the city of Clarksburg passed the 2021 charter amendments, why, was there an issue? The water board didn't have an issue with that? They decided just to go along with it?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. So I've looked into it a little bit. I'm sure you have a lot more knowledge than I do. I'm not going to sit here and try to compare that because I've worked with you for the last several years, 5 years, in fact. Well, not the entire 5 years. I think you came on.
It's been a pleasure. I hope you agree the sanitary board is doing just fine.
Yes, and in fact, it's doing very well.
Yes, sir.
I wish we could say that about the Clarksburg Water Board, but
I think we can.
either way, I've been a little distracted here. I'm sorry.
Are you done with me, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you.
Let me go back to where I was headed here. I'm sorry. You know what? I guess my first question is how do you represent both entities, Mr. Stranko, of the Clarksburg Water Board and the Clarksburg Sanitary Board? How does that work? I'm just curious.
The sanitary board is a separate legal entity from the Clarksburg Water Board. There's no conflict in my representation of the two entities. And I might add, I do a damn good job.
I think so. I would agree there. I'm glad you're going to bat for him. Because, like I said, I've looked into it a little bit, just a hair. And I've seen, this argument that, because the water board was chartered by the state in 1909 or anything like that, something along those lines, that you guys probably know more than me. From what I understand, though, when the Clarksburg City Charter was adopted, I believe it was 1951, you guys, the water board, maybe some of you guys weren't born yet, but decided to adopt nearly every policy that was in the Clarksburg City Charter. So again, there's another instance of where the water board just, okay, we'll go along with it, I guess. It seems like there's some pushback.
I can't speak for the 1950 water board. All those people were dead and gone. I can only speak for what my client has asked me to represent this evening.
Okay.
Mr. Hyman, we need to move on, sir.
Sorry about that. Another thing about this is, and this is kind of stems from the accountability of the water board, which brings us back to all these amendments. There was a real strong push during the entire 5 years that I served on council for American Rescue Plan monies for the Clarksburg Water Board. And it was a huge debate every single time. And, right or wrong, ultimately, we ended up giving $350,000 of ARPA money to the Clarksburg Water Board by a motion here that we carried here. And I remember speaking to that because I was, begrudgingly went along with it because, I thought at the time that was the right thing to do. And I specifically asked for an update of how those monies would be spent. And, the Clarksburg City Council, to my knowledge, has never received that.
I can't speak
Thank
to
you.
that issue, Councilor.
I'm done. Thank you, Mayor.
We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Mayor, I've got a couple things.
Okay.
So, I'm speaking to several constituents and, I think the water board, obviously does get the brunt of the complaints. But we, as council, all sat here a year and a half ago, maybe somewhere along that lines. City manager touted this project as bringing all the utilities together. Thrasher was here showing the drawings, explaining how it was going to work. We all agreed to allow it to happen. We, at any given time, one of us or all of us or a majority of us all had an opportunity to say, not a good idea. Don't do it. But at the end of the tunnel, light at the end of the tunnel, we said, yes, we're going to go through living hell to get there. We got here. Things are getting paved. And ultimately, I don't think this was going to be, well, I'm not going to say you, but I think ultimately this was not the envision, I think, of the outcome of what we're going to do at the end of that tunnel, where I think we are now. But, you know, again, I really question, is this really the right thing to do right now? At the end of the day, the taxpayers lose. Because granted, our attorney, I agree with Mr. Stranko, the legislator makes the law, not the judge. And I think they're going to decipher if that's a right decision we're making or a wrong decision at the end of the day, based upon this. But ultimately, the loser in all this is the taxpayers, because you're going to have two entities of the city paying legal fees. So ultimately, maybe the attorneys win, I don't know. But the insurance company is not going to defend this case, because it's like me driving with AAA, and if I hit my son, AAA, that's your problem. It's the same. We're going to have the same problem. No one's going to defend us. It's going to be very costly to the taxpayers moving forward when this gets into court. So, and I don't think an analysis has been considered by council. I know it hasn't, because this just popped up on the agenda Monday. But I don't know, Mr. Hyman, you know, we talked about amending other grants before, and that word came up. Did somebody do a financial analysis? I think it was Vice Mayor Riffle. Was a financial analysis conducted on to what are savings to the taxpayers? Because there are many differences between the entity of the Water Board and the entity of Clarksburg and the entity of Sanitary Board. These are all enterprise funds at the end of the day, enterprise funds. Does anybody know what that means? Does anybody understand? You cannot commingle funds. So bringing it into the city necessarily doesn't mean things get better, because trust me, I've seen how shit happens here. And it's not the greatest. So if you sit here on your high horse and we think we're going to do a much better job than the elected officials at a water board, I think we got another thing coming to us. Because that in itself is asinine to think that's going to magically happen overnight, bringing it in here when they're elected officials. Run for the water board. You ran, you lost. Guess what? Chad ran, Chad won. If the citizens wanted to change, they should have made the change. That's the democratic process to get it done. So moving forward, I think we really need to see. And again, the entire process is flawed. There was no conversation, no discussion with the elected official of the water board to even have a discussion. I have no doubt they would have had several items on there that they probably would have agreed with and probably could have enacted themselves, which then we would have had to approve by ordinance as well to enact that. But if we had the conversation, which we're very good at up here, not having conversations, and I can attest to that, because the communication is horrendous. So it's just embarrassing to me that this many items were placed on the agenda without notice and then moving forward. So we have many issues within the city. I think we have many issues within the city administration that need addressed. And we can choose to turn a blind eye to this or take and let it go right now a little bit longer to see how it's going to be resolved. But they are the elected officials, and I have faith in what they're going to do. And we as elected officials, we definitely need to do better. But
I got two questions, Lambert.
Go ahead, Mr. Riffle.
no, not really, but I've got another about an hour in me.
I can't see it, so I couldn't see you. Bear with talking.
Go ahead, I'll give you a break. Go ahead.
All right. A few questions. One thing that I was very surprised about, and if you are a Clarksburg first person at all, this should be concerning to everybody that sits up there. They brought up the idea of a regional water board, which means that you're taking out the power and the decision making out of this Clarksburg citizens and the Clarksburg water board, as it is right now.
I like the word power you use because that's odd, but go ahead.
So I would like to ask Mr. Stranko or Mr. Marsh, if that was to be the route they were to go, would they not have to come back to the city of Clarksburg anyways to get that approval?
Yeah. They would, because if they're changing, and I'm speaking out loud, but they would, Jerry, because they would be amending the way the charter is written. So they'd be coming to us with a proposal that they brought up, they passed, they communicated with us, and then we vote on it. Sounds logical to me that that's how it happens. That's called communication and working together to get something done.
But we have had discussions with them. I've had
When?
hours of discussions
When?
with Mr. Cox and Mr. Sigmund.
Last week?
Well, after the first meeting, yeah.
Well, that's all, I mean, well, I'm saying discussion, this is, I mean, again, this is put on the, I mean, you had no discussion prior to this becoming on the agenda. Did you?
This is part of the process. So we've had time.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, so I can start putting everything on the agenda.
Nothing's stopping you.
Okay, so can I get confirmation if it has to come back to us?
Yes, it has to come back to us. Absolutely.
Okay, so is all councilors do not see it as an issue, as the council current members on the water board wanting to go to a regional water board, taking the power out of the Clarksburg citizens?
What's with the power, though? I don't understand. Explain to me your power, because, wait a minute, because, huh? I am. You're voting. You're gonna vote to allow the citizens to vote that get water service from the water board, if that's the case. Let's have that discussion if it happens.
Why would anybody sitting up there that operates for the Clarksburg City Council, that or works for Clarksburg City Council, that's supposed to have a Clarksburg first mentality, why would they be in favor of giving that up?
Well, Jerry, because let me tell you, let's go back to the point we made. You brought up against the business development plan when I think it was trying to be expanded. You jumped down everybody's throat and said, did you do it? Did you analyze it? Did you do a cost-effective analysis? We're doing the same thing. No cost, no. Well, you don't want me to finish my first answer? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You don't think you answered my first question.
What was it?
I mean, everybody that's up there for the Clarksburg first, why would they be in favor of that, the original? Are they all against that? Can everybody say that?
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what your question
Is everybody sitting on council right now, are they against a regional water board that takes out the decision-making out of the Clarksburg citizens' hands?
That's not on the table. Do you want to go down that road?
Last week, I understand it's not on the table.
It wasn't discussed, it was a comment. It was a comment, Jerry.
Okay, we need to move on here. I mean, we could be, like you said, you got hours.
Well, no, I'm using my time. All due respect, I'm using my time.
Okay, well, then let's get going.
All right, so, you in a hurry?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
This is your last meeting, Mayor. I'm trying to make it fun for you.
No, well, you're making it hilarious.
Good, all right.
Pal. It's a ride.
Do you have anything?
Me. You know, as I've thought about these charter amendments, you know, I supported the first four because it's in line with the city council, and I think one of the things that we find about why people don't participate in elections, they have trouble understanding or finding information about the city governments, and I think that it's even harder when you have one set of elected officials that have a set of guidelines, and then you have another set of city officials that are, I guess, at the same level, but have a different set of guidelines. So I supported those. I'm going to vote against this. I think that this is too big of a topic to talk about right now. We need a financial analysis, and like the reason I made the motion to table, Councilman-elect Banco, Councilman-elect Romano, you're going to have a great first meeting going through a charter amendment. I think it's a disservice for first-time council members to be thrown into the middle of that. You know, and with all due respect to Councilman Hyman and Mayor Malfajo, I think that an issue of this size and magnitude deserves to be voted on twice by the council that's going to give final approval.
I'll just add, my only regret is not doing it after the 2021 election, is just going straight into it. I wish we could have done it because we've been fighting over it for the last couple of years. We would have probably fought it out in court. And, you know, ultimately, I believe the city of Clarksburg would have won. but, I guess we'll figure that out here in a couple months, so.
So to carry on, I guess, so how does the workforce integrate with our workforce? Because there are two different unions, and I'm sure they're gonna have to stay, per the budgets, they're gonna have to stay within those classifications. There are tier 1, tier 2 employees at the water board. We don't have the tier 1, tier 2 employees. And let me tell you, you think you've got a problem on your hand now with the fire department that we haven't still resolved? We're adding fire, no pun intended, to this issue because we're sitting on the fire department that has grievances. They have a lawsuit. We're going to go into another lawsuit. And now we're going to have dysfunctional employees coming in because you're going to have tier 1, tier 2 employees versus sanitary board employees. The pay's not equalization. I can go down the list and give you a litany of issues that are going to come out of this at the end of the day. And it's not going to be pretty, and I could probably say I won't be here either, I hope, moving forward. But there's a $109 million infrastructure project going on, $109 million. We haven't looked into the matter of what's it do to the bonds? What's it do to the grants? What does it do to move these forward and merge them? We don't know. We have no clue. We're guessing we know. Do you know? Because I don't know.
Well, to my understanding, the way it's written is it doesn't affect any of that stuff. It clearly states in the.
The Clarksburg Water Board will not exist.
No, that's not the case.
Well, I beg
That's actually, if we would actually go down the route that Mr. Strenko recommends of completely dissolving it. This doesn't dissolve the water.
Well, either way you do it, the problems still exist. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think that is semantics playing that, but I don't know. I don't know. I just do not have the confidence that this could be managed properly by the city. Transfers operations, I don't think it's going to be sufficiently. I don't think the oversight is going to be there for it as it is now. Good.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Deems?
No.
Councilmember Howe?
No.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Worth?
No.
Vice Mayor Ripple?
Yes.
Mayor Malvern?
Yes.
Consideration of first reading of an ordinance transferring 765 Glendale Avenue from the city of Clarksburg to the Clarksburg Land Reuse Agency.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion.
Discussion. So was this already, did the Land Reuse Agency already discuss this property? Because they did not meet this month, correct?
This is not discussed with the LRA. Somebody recently, both the joint landowners recently reached out to Mr. Lane and wanted to discuss that. So the LRA has 2 or 3 properties that it wants to consider transferring to the joint landowners. This would just add to that list. There's no indication this property has any value to the city. It's back around the river behind the farms.
Okay.
I've seen that since 2001, 2002. It's in the ordinance, or in the mid-load. Give them a map and one more.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of a resolution reestablishing the office of the city clerk as the physical and primary custodian of the city of Clarksburg archives and permanent records.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Can someone explain to me what exactly the purpose of this is?
Yeah. Do you know where the archive room is?
No, I don't.
Well, the city clerk is responsible for overseeing that archive room. And the archive room is off of her office, and no one's supposed to go in that archive room. And files are just, I mean, anybody can walk in there right now, take the files, file. They can do anything they want in there. There's no oversight to it. So this takes her back to that location and provides that oversight to the archives.
Okay, is that room locked?
Yeah, but it seems like everybody has a key.
The only person that has a key is Annette.
Well, and there's also the master key.
Mine doesn't work.
Well, maintenance does.
Maintenance has one. Yeah, I don't even have a key to that room.
Okay, well, Councilman Howe, you said anyone can walk in there and take records. How often does that happen?
Well, I don't know. don't have a log.
So that's a
And that-
hypothetical.
Well, no, it's not hypothetical. I would say, Madam Clerk, how many people sign in and sign out of documents that you're aware of? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I mean, it's, I'm sure it's not being done on a regular basis. So you don't have to answer.
Well, wouldn't people checking in and out documents have to come to you to get them? Like to get access to it, and you would have to show them or where those documents at?
One would think.
One would think,
I
okay,
don't know
well.
if there's an actual policy established on how that's supposed to work, so if council wants us to write up a policy.
Oh, don't you worry.
and
I got that
bring it
covered.
forward- Oh, okay. I can do that.
Because I have several amendments for this item. And we're gonna talk about those here in a minute. So the first one, I guess, since we're on the topic of security, I have an amendment here for section 3, Madam Clerk, and I move to amend section 3 of the resolution by adding the following qualifying language at the end of paragraph. Provided that prior to the transfer or acceptance of any physical records under this resolution, the city manager is directed to immediately halt all non-essential road paving and infrastructure projects and reallocate those funds to construct a commercial-grade, climate-controlled, fireproof vault with a gaseous fire suppression system within City Hall to house those archives. What? I can read it again for you if you'd like.
But yeah, please.
Okay. Section 3, enhanced security and access. It currently reads, the city clerk is authorized to implement enhanced organizational preservation measures to protect these archives from decay or loss, ensuring they remain safely guarded yet readily accessible for public inspection. So my amendment is as follows. Provided that prior to the transfer or acceptance of any physical records under this resolution, the city manager is directed to immediately halt all non-essential road paving and infrastructure projects and reallocate those funds to construct a commercial-grade, climate-controlled, fireproof vault with a gaseous fire suppression system within City Hall to house these archives.
Can you define essential?
I think
Non-essential?
Non-essential road paving. Well, I mean, I would assume that anything that was passed through the what's it called? Oh, the last election. Oh, hell.
The levy?
The levy, yes, sorry. I couldn't think of the word. And not associated with the water board or, major.
Do not pave the streets that aren't being affected by the water board.
Like it or not. Call the question.
I need a second to.
Oh, I need a second, I guess.
Second.
Okay.
Discussion?
Sure.
And maybe this is a question for Madam Clerk. Is our current system not sufficient?
The road?
It could be better. Our system could be better.
Like the actual contents of the room?
Yes, yes. I'll consider it.
Have we had anybody look at what those improvements would be?
Well, one major improvement would be to move all of the items that don't belong in there, which would be coffee pots,
Right.
things of that nature. So
Right.
it's not a closet.
Okay. So is the room unsafe?
No. It is equipped with sprinklers, so that it would be the last room to burn because of the sprinklers
And we're talking about the specific room
in the archive.
in the archives. Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Dean?
No.
Councilmember Howe?
No.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes, on the amendment.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes on the amendment.
Councilmember Worth?
No.
Vice Mayor Riffle?
No.
Mayor Malvern?
No.
Amendment fails. Shall we continue? Or, maybe we should take a break, move to take a break here and go check out that room. You think that would be, pertinent?
We could do
I
that.
can't go.
Oh, Jerry, maybe we can live stream you in there.
Put them on FaceTime?
I do have a few more questions. If we're back under discussion, unless you want to do the amendment first.
Well, I have several more amendments. We don't have to go back and look at that. I've personally been in there. So if you guys want to go take a look, I can sit here. It's up to the will of council. I'm assuming it would have to have a vote to maybe stop for a second. But I don't know. I'll leave that to the
Go ahead
parliamentarian.
with your next amendment, please.
Okay. Okay. The next amendment is as follows. Madam Clerk, I move to amend the resolution by adding a new section 5 to read as follows. A mandatory training prerequisite. Prior to the execution of any custody transfers of handling of any historical documents under this resolution, the city clerk and city manager together shall develop and implement a mandatory comprehensive training program on proper document handling, preservation protocols, and West Virginia public records compliance. No city employee or administrative staff shall handle, pack, or transport any municipal records or archives until they have completed this training and received a formal certification of completion from the city clerk.
Second.
We have a motion.
Discussion. So would this training have to be completely created from scratch, or would there be things that are already created that would be sufficient?
That's the will of the city manager and the city clerk.
Okay. Madam Clerk, what kind of training were you provided with when you became city clerk?
Some time ago. But, I'm a certified municipal clerk. I went on to get my master municipal clerk. And I proudly say that the West Virginia Clerks and Reporters Association wrote the current record retention policy that is utilized right now by all the municipalities in the state, because there none existed. So we took it up on ourselves to do that. So doing our own research and getting our own legal advice and legal help, we did that. So, if we looked at the retention manual, it can tell you the things that we need to say. And I've tried to explain, the city clerk is not the file keeper for everybody's files. It's the permanent records. It's the agreements, the resolutions, the ordinances, it's the laws, it's those types of documents. It's not everybody's books that they don't want anymore, or it's not files that nobody wants in their office anymore.
Right.
I mean, it started out being a very nice room, and over time, it has been allowed to be used for other things.
Sure. Okay. So do you feel like, well, no, I'm not going to ask that. Okay. I'll yield my questioning.
Madam City Clerk, how closely do you work with the city manager on a daily basis?
Close.
Very close. And to move you from that location back to that location, how cumbersome will that be on the communication and the work that you two get done together?
I don't believe that it would be. I mean, I think we'd work well, no matter if I'm over here, down, wherever I happen to be.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, I have a few things.
Okay.
It's regarding the amendment.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Just trying to keep it quick here.
Okay, we have an amendment. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I have another amendment, Madam Clerk. I move to amend the resolution by inserting a new section, Section 6, and renumbering the subsequent sections accordingly to read as follows. Mandatory audit and digitization, prerequisite. Notwithstanding any other provision of this resolution to the contrary, no physical transfer of custody, reorganization, or alteration of the current storage location of any city archives or permanent records shall occur until the following conditions are met in full. A complete physical audit of all municipal records shall be conducted, and every document, book, ordinance, resolution, and council journal shall be scanned and converted into a searchable digital format. These digital files shall be securely stored on a dedicated city server and published in their entirety on the city official website for public access. The administration and the city clerk shall ensure that this digital conversion and online publication project is fully completed, verified, and operational no later than October 1, 2026. Until such time as this online publication is finalized and certified by council, all records shall remain in their current existing physical locations.
Second.
Council, that's actually something we've talked about, is digitizing all the files. So city
Great.
clerk and I, that's something we would support. We were looking for interns to do that. With the vast amount of knowledge that there is, I don't know if we could have it done by that date, but maybe by the end of the year.
October 1. That's all I can give you.
Okay.
I don't think that's feasible myself, but.
Oh, vote it up or vote it down.
We'll get it done if that's the date.
Do we have a budget number, what that's gonna
Yeah, we'll
cost?
just have to do a budget revision because I have no money in the budget.
Right, but we've already looked at getting some.
Do we have scanners?
No,
We do.
We don't have scanners.
On our
Printers,
yes, on
we
our
do.
printers, we have scanners. And we've already been talking to a couple universities about interns, so there won't be a huge financial burden to do that, actually it'd be quite reasonable.
Sounds good to me.
October 1st is still, and I do fully support digitization. I think
Come back for an extension if we don't think we can meet it.
Do we have a motion and a second on this amendment? I don't think we do.
Yeah, that's for discussion.
Okay.
That's how we've got here.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
no.
Councilmember Deems,
No.
Councilmember Howe,
No, based upon the timeline.
Councilmember Hyman.
Yes, based
Councilmember
upon the
Jackson,
time.
Yes.
Councilman Ward,
No.
Vice Mayor Riffle,
Yes.
Mayor Moffitt.
No. I don't think it can be done in 4 months.
Offer an amendment. Moving on. I have one more. Actually, I have 3 more. Sorry. Madam Clerk, I move to amend the resolution by adding a new section 5. I guess that would have to be a change if any of these should pass, but
Maybe 6.
Comprehensive Electronic Archive. To ensure strict adherence to West Virginia state public records and laws outlined herein, the definition of permanent records under this resolution shall immediately include all electronic mail, SMS text messages, and digital chat logs concerning city businesses transmitted by or to any elected member of the city council, the city manager, city clerk, all department heads, and such records shall be compiled weekly by the administration, transferred into the physical custody of the city clerk, and made available to the public via an online database no later, I'll extend this one out, to December 1, 2026. You guys want accountability? You want transparency? Here it is.
Second.
Discussion. So, Councilman Hyman, can you elaborate on the text message thing again?
Yes, if you conduct city business over your phone, and that pertains to city record, it can be entered into the archives.
Like each member?
Yes,
So each member would be responsible for turning in texts?
yes,
Okay. And the city manager would be?
and the city
The city
clerk, and all
would all
department
be
heads.
responsible for? And those would be stored just in the cloud?
Sure.
Okay. And would they be available for public viewing? I mean, I guess
Public
they
via
could
online
be,
database.
they could be subject to
FOIAs, yeah.
Yeah,
Which they are now.
which they are now.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Councilmember Deems,
Councilman Deems?
Yeah.
Councilmember Howe,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilmember Hyman,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Ward,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Riffle,
Yes.
Mayor Moffitt.
Yes.
Moving on. Madam Clerk, I move to amend Section 2 of the resolution by adding the following enforcement language at the end of the paragraph. And be it further resolved that any city employee, administrative staff member, or department head who fails to identify and surrender such records to the direct physical custody of the city clerk by December 1, 2026, shall be subject to the immediate suspension without pay by the city manager, notwithstanding any administrative or personnel policies to the contrary. Also, any city council member who fails to identify and surrender such records to direct physical custody of the city clerk after December 1, 2026, shall be subject to immediate removal from council by majority vote of city council, notwithstanding any administrative or personnel policies to the contrary.
hearing with the council member with that.
I want to second that.
Discussion. Richard?
You can't remove, council cannot vote a council member off council.
Whoa. What about the ordinance that we passed for attendance?
You can do, you're intending, you have to set it up to go to circuit court through that process. You would have to do that.
Okay. It's possible to,
Which is how we had it in the other ordinance. Council itself has no authority to get somebody off council. You would have to send it through the circuit court process, through the judges.
well, there's been a motion and a second by Mr. Howe.
I love transparency.
Let's do
Motion
it.
is second, all in favor?
Aye.
No.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Dean,
Yes.
Councilmember Howe,
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
No.
Councilmember Worth,
No.
Vice Mayor Riffle,
Yes.
Mayor Malvern.
No.
What was the vote on that, Madam Clerk?
It passes.
43.
Thank you.
4 to 3.
Next up, Madam Clerk, I move to amend the resolution by adding a new section, and this will probably have to be changed considering the ones we've passed so far. Accountability and enforcement. Because the dispersal of these records compromises civic history, the city manager, city clerk, and every member of city council shall be held personally liable and subject to civil penalty of $500 per day payable directly to the city treasurer from their personal funds for any single historical record, book, or council journal found to reside outside the physical boundaries of the city clerk's office after December 1, 2026. No? Come on, Martin. I know you got it in for me, pal.
I think you got, I'm not going to second to the discussion, but I don't understand what you're trying to do there.
Next. Is that it, Mr. Hyman?
Yes, that is it. The last one I had was already passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
Back to the original resolution.
I got a comment. I want to make a motion to table.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second.
Discussion.
No discussion on
There is
table.
no
No
discussion.
discussion on the table.
You jumped the gun. No.
Yep. All in favor for table?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Deems,
No.
Councilmember Howe,
No.
Councilmember Hyman,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
No.
Councilmember Worth,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Riffle,
Yes.
Mayor Malvern.
No.
What was that one, Madam Clerk?
4 noes and 3 yeses.
Jerry, I'll leave you my copy of Robert's Rules, wherever you may end up sitting. Thank you.
Stuff on the phone. So, okay, we'll put it on.
Now we got to vote on the original amendment. All in favor?
The original.
C. All in favor? All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Deems,
Yes.
Councilmember Howe,
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman,
No.
Councilmember Jackson,
No.
Councilmember Worth,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Riffle,
No.
Mayor Malvern.
No.
You just wasted all that time.
That's, get used to it, pal.
What a circus.
Consideration of the award of bid for the 2026-2027 milling and paving project.
Oh, I was going to say, Madam Clerk, I recommend we approve approve the bids for Bear Contracting in the amount of $280,305.80.
Second, discussion.
So council, I emailed, but I also handed out, we've split this year's paving into two different sets. And we're gonna bid the two separate sets out, different sets out twice. So one right now is for the north view. And what we're doing is we're filling the gap in for all the streets that aren't being done with the water board. And the same contractors doing the water board was the lowest bidder, obviously, because they have everything there already. So that made a lot of sense. And then in fall, we're gonna come back with another whole set of roads to pave in the other section that the water board's working on to fill in the gap. We also have coming to council next week a paving plan for the entire city. So because of what the water board is doing, this has been given us a great opportunity to work towards a 20 to 25-year plan to a neighborhood by neighborhood paving plan, which makes it much more efficient and somewhat more cost effective for the city for our paving plan. So that is why we were doing it this way. If we underspend by the end of the year, that money is held in escrow because it's from the levy, and we'll continue to move forward with our paving plan next year. What we don't want to do is pave roads just to pave roads. We want to make sure they're in the condition where they need to be paved, and we don't want to pave roads that the water board already has coming up to pave. So it's taken some maneuvering to get where we are, but that's why this has been set up the way it has been.
Question.
Yeah.
The blue lines are the water board project,
Yes.
correct? And the yellow are?
Ours.
Okay. Is there a reason why between Gulf and Gould Avenue in Northview on 20th that there is no paving there? Is that because the water board is still accessing that?
Oh, you're talking where there's a stretch that's yellow and then there's blank and then it's blue? Is that the one right there?
Right here. That street has trench work in it, and it is not being paved.
You're talking about 20th Street?
Yeah.
I see it paved on my map. Some of it, not all of it. There's portions of it that they're not, but yes.
Jason?
I'm
Can
showing
you
it paved.
clarify that?
20th Street going out through towards like the compact store.
It looked. I'm guessing by the aerial, it looks like the paving is happening on Gulf Avenue by the compact, and then from the compact back, it's not being paved.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
Back to.
Yeah.
Did we get an answer?
Right.
It's easier to see the contractors.
Right there.
It just looks like it's from Gulf to Gould.
Unless I'm imagining things. Yeah.
We may have
Because I mean, with all the construction going on, I've been getting a lot of complaints
everything
about
should be running
not
for the
in
next,
particular
within the past
contractor,
3 to 5 years.
but I just want to make note that we
End
have,
of, or the end of what we're trying to do.
are people talking? What's going on? Can you not hear me?
Yeah, you can't see them, that's why.
Okay.
It's hard.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
I wasn't done talking.
Go ahead, Jerry.
So do we have a running track of companies that come in here to work in our city that either fail or do good jobs, or do we just go, I mean, what is the analysis process?
There's never been an analysis from my understanding. I don't believe there's a list.
I mean, there should be.
That's a good thing for you to do, Jerry.
Jerry, I will work on a list about the issues that are outstanding that we've had with various contractors.
Okay, this is not particularly fair. This is just the first thing
Yep.
that came up since this work project. So, okay,
Done?
I'm done.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of the purchase of bronze statues.
So moved.
Discussion. I want everybody to know that every penny has been donated, period. No taxpayers' dollars are being used. Mr. Marino.
The point of clarification though, didn't Delegate Petito give us $25,000 to?
State of West Virginia did.
Well, that's taxpayer money, Mr. Mayor.
Well, that's.
City funds.
No,
I'm talking about city funds.
Okay. I'm just saying, I'm just trying, point of clarification is what I meant.
currently we have $90,000 in the statute account. There's another $16,000 check coming, which will cover the additional $8,000 plus the shipping to bring it here. It takes a year to make statues. So it's not gonna be till next summer.
They can't just 3D print that thing?
They actually make the casts by hand out of clay.
Well,
And they're life size, so they take a really, really long, they're not even 3D printed. This company still makes them by hand.
And they're all three together. You have the fireman, the policeman, and the EMS worker all on the same.
Sounds very impressive.
They will have, the police officer will have a City of Clarksburg hat and a badge to the City of Clarksburg, so they will be customized to reflect the city.
Really? Interesting.
Who's badge number?
You can pick the badge number.
It's faster.
All in favor?
Faster than a fire truck.
All right.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of the upgrade replacement of the citywide telephone system.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Do we need to put a bid item out on there?
It'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah,
I don't know who the heck.
So council, to give you a bit of history, the phones have been on the fritz for about 2 years now. For the last, I'd say 3 to 4 months, either Mr. Bonamico or Deputy Chief Weber have gone and they manually turn the phones on and off once a day, if not multiple times a day, to try to get them to work. It's gotten to the point where we have to replace them. Now, we're not recommending going with the lowest bid because the lowest bid is over 2 hours away. So if there is an issue, the fastest they could get here to get the phones worked on is 2 hours. So we went with the second lowest bid. However, it does come with more options and we think it's going to serve the city better. And that is Advantage Technology.
So this was put out the bid.
Yes, we got 3 bids for it.
Bids or estimates?
Bids.
Is this advertised?
Well, it's a monthly fee and we're not walking into a 3-year contract. So I believe that.
So they're estimates. Because if it's bid, we'd advertise it. Right? We'd open it up to other people that you don't even know.
Well, I don't know any of these people.
Well, I mean, or Mr. Bonamico. I mean, somebody had to contact them. They just didn't submit a bid.
Mr. Bonamico,
Yeah. So we contacted to get an estimate.
Yes. And there's very limited companies
Is it that one?
to go through. And luckily, the company we're currently with now is allowing us to keep our current phone number, so we don't have to change the phone numbers across the city.
Should be a report on that. Is this the gentleman that did the cameras that the opioid money was spent on?
Advantage, that's who we bought the cameras from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just confirming. I recognize that name.
And what was the estimated cost of the system?
I believe the system,
Monthly, it is gonna be $1,600, sorry, $1,662.70 for
What-
128 cents.
What about the cost of new phones?
The funds are included if we sign for 3 years. If not, it's an additional, I believe, $32,000, $15,300 at $120 per phone. That's if we don't sign for 3 years.
So we are signing a contract.
if council would like me to.
What are the monthly reoccurring fees again?
That's for each phone.
Oh,
It's
okay.
$1,600, just over $1,600 a month.
Because I'm looking at this Advantage Tech, right? It says $1,454.88.
Apologies, I know that the quotes are a little bit different from each other, but it's because the way that phones are sold are different company to company. If you're asking the difference in cost, Advantage, the recurring cost is $1,400, or $1,454, whereas
Full service network is closer to $1,400,
$190.
This is for all the phones, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in parks, sanitary, RG, and City Hall.
$17,458 a year, $52,000 over 3 years, correct?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
Did we appoint it?
Do we appoint the,
No, we didn't. So what happens after 3 years?
We renew to it's the same,
It would be the same recurring cost.
recurring costs every year.
Doesn't go down? We don't get
No.
depreciation value?
No, but we get to keep the phone, which are.
If we leave them, we keep the phones? If we switch companies, we keep the phones?
If you stay for 3 years.
If we stay for 3 years, we keep the phones.
There's also, Councilmember Deans in particular, because you brought up modernizing code. We want to build on this phone system to track when calls come in, and we're able to do that with a system of this type. It's going to take a while for us to learn what programs to use, and more things will be coming to council, but we'll be able to integrate the phone system into, like I said, tracking when calls come in, recording calls, recording the times, if it went to voicemail. Hopefully, when it's going to voicemail, can send an automatic email. Those are all things that we want to work towards once this is done. We can't do any of that with our current phone system.
Someone like to make a motion to ban these texts?
I wouldn't mind, but I just need to know, like, because the numbers that the gentleman over here is telling us, and these numbers here are different. So we need to know what
I'm sorry,
the Vantage Tech, because I'm getting reoccurring monthly fees as $1,454.88, and I think
That's what they are for 3 years.
that's what they are for 3 years.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we get to keep the phone.
Okay, and that includes the one-time service fee upfront cost of $335 and the services for $2,520.
the services, they also come in and help install the phones, obviously, 128 phones.
So the total cost, I guess,
For the first month.
for the first month is
$43.09.
$43.0988, and that would be the reoccurring cost every month.
No, the reoccurring cost is $1,400, just over $1,400. So the first month is $43.09. Every month after that for 35 months is just over $1,400 a month.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion then that we enter into contract with Advantage Tech for the first month of service at $4,309.88 and reoccurring monthly after that of $1,400 a month. Am I correct? Oh, $1,454.88 a month, recurring after that.
Yes.
For 35 months.
For 35 months.
Yes.
That's my motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? Motion carries. Council comments, Mr. Howe.
Motion to adjourn.
If you don't want to be here, you're welcome to leave, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Ward?
Oh, did you have a motion?
Nobody seconded it.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I thank you for everyone coming out. My position on the water board, it's been its own entity. It's been it's maybe had some hiccups every once in a while and stuff, but I'd say it's been a staple in our community for over 100 years. I understand that this combined infrastructure project was really hard on business and stuff, but we all went in this together. And this is kind of a first of a kind. I think anyone alive has never done an infrastructure project in the city at this scale before. And yes, there are hiccups, and yes, there probably needs to be some accountability going forward. Do I think that the abolishment of the water board is the way to do it, or trying to micromanage them or whatever is the way to do that? No, I think having better communication, I think that's what it's going to take, because that's what keeps the relationship going together. I mean, we're going to benefit our city from the lead water line replacement and from this infrastructure replacement, new roads. We're going to benefit almost 80 years, from this. And, and it took a lot of political will, to be able to say, okay, we know what we're getting into, and we're still going to do this together. And, but I think at the end of the day, and I always believe this, but I've never really been too much of a supporter of term limits, with exception to Congress. I always believe that the voters, if they don't want someone in office, they will vote them out. I've lost more elections in my life than I've won, and when I won, it's because people wanted me in office, and when I lost, it's because they didn't. And I accept that. But that's all I got to say about the water board situation. I do want to recognize and thank our city council and our city manager, and also, our public works and everyone who was involved in the bridge ceremony and dedication for Philip W. Carter Jr. That was quite a. And I want to thank Tuna too. Tuna was the one that came up with the idea of doing it. He called me, and I said, well, let's see what we can do. And I really appreciate this council for, honoring a man that is very loved in this community. And I want to thank Councilmember Jackson too for taking all those photos. And that's, it was quite an honor for a man who dedicated his life to civil rights, equality, and equality for everybody. And that's why I deeply admire him and treasure him. And that's why I think a lot of people, not only in Clarksburg, but also around the country do too. And so that was really nice that we were able to dedicate a bridge after him. Also, I want to express my, gratitude, to Councilmember Hyman and Mayor Malfajo. I'll start with Councilmember Hyman. We've done a lot together. We literally been in the trenches together, a lot of things, and although we disagreed on a lot of stuff here, or I wouldn't say a lot of stuff, but a few things here on this council, the one thing I'll always take away from you that I think will help me build in my leadership skills is that you never propose an ordinance, or a resolution unless you can enforce it. And I say that to the pigeons, to the trash cans, and whatever that we passed in the past. So, and that's one thing I've learned from you, and I dearly appreciate that.
Don't forget those meth pipes.
Yeah, that was in the beginning. So I'm trying to go way back in time. So, but no, really, I really appreciated working with you up here, Will.
Same to you.
And you've always been professional. You've always been a friend, and anyone who adopts a highway out in Pocahontas County is a friend for life. So I just want you to know that. And anytime you need my help doing that out there, you call me, and I'll be out there to help you with that. So
great news. I appreciate it.
Mayor Malfajo, I'll tell you, like I tell everybody, and I've told you before, that every time I see you in the bow tie and everything, I just say, that's Mr. Clarksburg right there. You've been great to work with. I know sometimes I've pissed you off and let you down, and called me and let me know about that, but but you always come back and treated me with grace and respect, and I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. And I mean, you're a gentleman. And I think that will, that just speaks volumes of your character, and I would even when you call me in the future, I'll always address you as Mr. Mayor. So, whether you say yes or no or not. So, but other than that, I wish everybody a happy weekend. I guess City Hall is going to be closed, I think, tomorrow and on Monday, right? We have Juneteenth celebration going on tomorrow. Well, yeah, tomorrow at 1:30. I think they're going to meet there first at the Monticello Community Garden, and then it's going to move to the Kelly Miller Center. Please attend that. And Saturday, West Virginia turns 163 years old. Born out of the Civil War, the only state in the Union that was born out of the Civil War. And because Virginia decided to secede from the Union, and of course, constitutionally, if a state wants to secede from another state, they have to have permission from the mother state. So maybe technically, West Virginia at the time was unconstitutional, but seceding from the Union, I think, was pretty unconstitutional at the time too. So, but still, we don't look bad for 163 years. So I hope that you guys remember West Virginia Day, on Saturday, and just reflect on the time of your life, because I always say when you celebrate one's birthday, you celebrate one's history, and I hope that you could reflect back on not only West Virginia's history, but how you were a part of that, because every single one of us here are a part of that, and we have a story. So thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, for the opportunity.
Mr. Riffle?
Yes, I'm still here. So I want to start off just by thanking Mayor Maplejoe and Councilman Hyman. Kind of a lot what Councilman Work said. We all came in together. Well, Maplejoe, you were before us, but we served. I've served every day with you guys. It's been an honor. We have disagreed, but one thing, when I look back at all the minutes and the meetings and stuff when I was running for re-election, one thing that I noticed, that you two stayed true to who you are. And through all adversity, through everything that runs at you, through disagreements on council members up at the table, you guys stayed true. And that's the most you can ask of any person that serves, is to not change, to not follow, to stay who you are and vote as you believe. And so it was very little question on a lot of items that came on the agenda, how you guys would be, because you guys would stay true. So even though those votes sometimes went against where I was going, I still respect you. And so it's been an honor to serve with both of you. Councilman Hyman, you're going out in style. I love that. I love a lot of action and getting things done. And, I love that, that's how you're going out. Mayor Maplejoe, I know that the statues were very important to you. So I think it's fitting on your very last meeting that we were able to push that to the finish line. So, it supports your legacy and what's been, important to you. So I'm glad we were finished that way. So thank you to both of you. Councilman Worth, I appreciate you answering that question about the water board. I know I can be a little smarter like sometimes, but I just, when you vote no on something, I think we owe the people, so I appreciate you following up on that. As already, a lot of things have been said. Juneteenth celebration at Monticello is going to be great. A lot of good things happening this weekend. I'll be back in town, so the city will be in better position than what it was. So, be safer, and everything will be better. So I'll be back tomorrow. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Deans?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm not going to take a lot of time tonight to explain explain my votes, I'll use social media for that. I think tonight is a time to recognize people. And so first, I'd like to recognize Trevor and the whole crew that threw on the red, white, and bruise. It was a really great event. I think that it shows a model, a path forward for a way to. I guess he wasn't interested in what I had to say. That's all right. I won't hold it against council member.
He's still watching.
Huh?
He's listening online to you.
Oh, okay. I'm going to hold it against him. It's fine. And I don't have to call him vice mayor anymore. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So, anyway, I think it is a model of a way to build some community in the city. I think that the city should invest in more types of these events to show people that if you put something in downtown Clarksburg, people will come. There will be community support, and so I'm looking forward to being involved with those future events. Councilman Hyman, I think if we looked at how we both self-described our politics when I came to council, I think that we might have thought that we would bump heads some, but I think we have found ourselves allies throughout the process. Not on everything, but some things. And you were the first council member when I was elected to sit with me and talk and give me advice that I still follow to this day, and I have appreciated our conversations when you've been very frank with me and have given me a lot of perspective. And I think that this council is better because you've been here.
Thank you.
Mayor Malfajo, I have thoroughly enjoyed my time on city council with a very legendary figure in the city of Clarksburg. I have to admit, I didn't know you very well until until I started running, and I knew you as the guy I would see in the paper with the bow tie, and so I've enjoyed our time together. Maybe will you sing some Jimmy Buffett karaoke with your last council comment? Maybe not. Okay, that's all right. But no, like Will, this city is better because of your service, and we'll be forever grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Jackson?
Well, I would like to say, people have mentioned a few things. We had the bridge dedication to, I call him Dr. Phil Carter, but, that was a great event. Red, White, and Blue, another great event, and someone already said it, but if you build it, they will come, and we're building that Clarksburg that's going to bring people back into downtown again. We just have to keep pushing forward, and it's not going to always be easy, but, it's great to see, people back into downtown, people enjoying themselves. The roads are starting to get paved, and, just a reminder that, our Public Works Department, they will be out there tomorrow and Monday when we're closed, out there working, getting those roads done. So, big thanks to them. Juneteenth weekend this weekend. Unfortunately, I'll be out of town. I'm going to meet with my son, but, going to be a good time. The baby concert out there at the amphitheater, other events going on. So, a lot of things to do. And this is how we rebuild Clarksburg. We start having events. We start doing things. People start coming into Clarksburg. So, there are things going on. I would like to first also congratulate our police department on a substantial drug bust. That was a job well done confiscated, I believe it was about a half a pound of fentanyl, which basically could have put a lot of dead bodies on our streets. So congratulations and thank you all very much. Even kill Will, I don't know, man. This dude, I mean, Will's that guy who just, he never gets robbed because he always brings facts. He always brings facts. He always brings you that research, you know? And so I always knew when I talked to Will, you know what, I'm going to get an earful of facts right here. And as I told someone earlier, I may come through the door with a no vote on my mind, but if I talk to people enough, and usually Will, one of those people, you know, if you can tell me something that makes me see that this vote is for the better good of the people of the city of Clarksburg, I can change that vote because this is their vote. You know, when it comes down to the water board, yeah, you know what? There needs to be some accountability, major accountability. And at the end of the day, basically, we're taking this thing and we're putting it in the hands of the people of the city of Clarksburg. They get to make a choice now. They get to say, yes, we like this or we don't. So, you know, Will, you know, it's been a pleasure serving with you. You know, I enjoy, you know, talking to you, you know, stay in touch. I'm sure we'll see you around here.
Yeah, maybe at the next meeting.
Or maybe, well, we don't have a special meeting coming up, but
we'll see.
But so it's been a pleasure. Mayor Malfajoe, pleasure working with you. I've known you, I believe, Washington Square days, which go way back. I think that was before he got his bow tie. But, you know, it's been an absolute pleasure. You know, I know a lot of what you've gone through, you know, the thing that happened a few years back, that was crazy. And, you know, you stay steady. You stay steady. We came in, we put in work, and we have new council member coming in now. And, you know, this is what we're going to do. Let's stay steady. Let's work. You know, decisions aren't always easy. You know, we just have to continue to push and fight because, you know what, at some point, someday, I'm not going to be sitting in that seat. One day, somebody's going to say, you know what, yeah, this over here, this is because Mayor Malfajoe was up here one day. And those will be those statues, you know, and other things that have been done as well. So, you know, I would just like to say thank you to you as well. Everything else, you know, we work. We work. You know, we get things done. You know, it's not always pretty, but, you know, at the end of the day, we get it done and we keep moving forward. So thank you all, and that's all.
Mr. Hyman, you got 2 minutes.
Well, I have a prepared statement, but I'm going to start first by thanking everybody for their time and their efforts on this council. A lot of new friendships that I made over the years, and a lot of people I never expected to meet through my campaigning. And you know, here I am. I'm saying goodbye, and I really appreciate my time here. I appreciate all the city staff that have done a great job. But you know, I've been known on this council as a negative Nancy, Debbie Downer, the eternal pessimist. So I'm going to leave you with you probably should have went first, but I'm going to leave you with a statement that I've prepared, and I'm going to read it now. 5 years ago, I stood at the podium at the PWA Meet the Candidates event, and I addressed the people there. And every other person running for office did what all politicians do. They smiled, they offered comfortable platitudes, and they promised a path to turn around this city. And when it was my turn to speak, I looked at the audience and I said something that made a lot of people uncomfortable. And I said, I don't believe Clarksburg has seen the bottom yet. And I didn't say it to be cynical. I said it because I respect the people of the city too much to lie. And I honestly, that's how I felt. And I still feel that today. And that's 5 years later, as my time here comes to a close. Standard political tradition dictates that I sit here and tell you that the bottom is behind us and the storm is past and everything's going to be hunky-dory. But it's still hard to see that. And if you look closely at the trajectory of our city, our state, our country, it's pretty grim. And the systems that we allow to be built in our names are becoming increasingly top-heavy, rigid, detached, unaccountable, and even violent. And we have conditioned ourselves to look towards municipal buildings, county seats, state capitals for the solutions to our problems. And that's a dangerous trap. Government, by its very nature, is a slow-moving machine prone to inertia, overregulation, and bureaucratic self-preservation. It is also filled with people who are working against the best interests of the same people who voted them in. I've seen members of this city staff, members of other local entities and their legal counsel, and the public conspire against members of this city council. And likewise, I've seen members of city council conspire with city staff against our city manager and others. And yes, it's been as bad as you can imagine. If the citizens of Clarksburg sit back and wait for this council, the county commissioner, state legislature to save them, don't hold your breath. The future of Clarksburg cannot and must not depend on the whims of whoever happens to be sitting in these council chairs next year, 4 years from now, or 40 years from now. So I leave you with a warning and a demand for action. To the citizens of Clarksburg, stop looking for the government to fix your neighborhoods, to secure your properties, or to build your future. The true power of this community has never lived in a municipal charter or legislative chamber. It lives in the grit, independence, and resourcefulness of the people who actually live here. We need fewer residents to ask permission, more neighbors taking action, fixing what is broken and build what is missing. Hold power accountable, but better yet, make power irrelevant by doing the work yourselves. Organize your streets, protect your communities, love your neighbors, and stop waiting for a savior in a suit, because no one is coming to save Clarksburg. So my time is over. My dependence on this council never existed. I'm returning to the private ranks, not to fade away, but to join you, and maybe Mr. Worth here, to join you in the real work, radical self-reliance, where real progress and accomplishments can happen. Thank you. Good luck, and we'll see you on the streets.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Please. Mr. Mayor.
Before the mayor goes, I asked him if I could speak. I'm not going to say a lot because I'll get upset, but I want to say to the mayor and you, Councilmember Hyman, thank you. It's been an honor.
I appreciate it.
To both of you.
Thank you.
See something, say something, folks. It's the last time you'll hear it. So I hope somebody picks up on that.
Put the sign right there.
Down line. Public Works, James, thank you. Jason Weber, Clarksburg City Police, thank you. Kim, thank you. Richard, thank you. I know it's Trevor. I'm looking at Jason. I don't know what to say to Jason. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I got to say one thing about Jason. You know, it snows, and I get up and think, that's America. I got to shovel snow. I get outside, and it's all shoveled, all pushed all the way down the street. Thank you, Jason.
Just for clarity, that started before I became a city.
I was going to say, this is going the wrong way.
Trevor, great job last week, son. Keep it up. Steve, Jason, Bonamico, thank you.
Ready to adjourn?
Yes.
You know,
I'm sorry. I thought that's where you were looking.
Ryan, I rode you pretty hard, son.
Yes.
And I think I made you a better councilman. Thank you.
Yes.
Mark, stay the course, buddy. Martin, good luck to you. Will, good luck to you.
Wayne?
Wayne, I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. You were looking at him, man. I'm sorry. You were looking at him. Everybody did.
Save the criticism for last.
The 5 years we've been here, it's always been Will, Wayne.
You guys look like brothers. Wayne.
I got better hair, so.
He's got a better beard than you. Wayne, good luck. Take everybody's ideas to be your own person, buddy. Make your own decisions. My wife, thank you. She always said, get a calendar on your phone. This was my calendar. Thank you. Tiffany. Call for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
We're done.